What's going on, Virgo? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for January 23rd to the 29th, 2023. So in this reading, Virgo, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the week, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides and much more regarding the 23rd to the 29th of January 2023. But before we begin this reading, Virgo, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we move through this reading. And I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out, Virgo. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, Virgo, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. That would also be greatly appreciated over here, Virgo. One last thing, the official Mystic merch line has officially just dropped. So you see the beanie that I'm wearing, the classic Mystic. If you click the link in the description box, it will take you to my Teespring store, Virgo. I know Virgo is the swag master. I mean, you see a Virgo walking down the street, it's just like, ooh. So you want to look good and rep the Mystic, definitely click the link in the description box below, Virgo. But with that being said, I'm going to pull the energy now for you for the week, and we'll see what wants to come through for you, Virgo. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Virgo. Let's see what we got here. Virgo. All right, Virgo, let's start this reading off for you with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe. What frequency do you need more of for this week? The first energy that we have is actually nostalgia. So some of you are going to have to tap into the good old days, or something to do with your past is going to be coming up for you this week. This is the frequency you need more of. So we have nostalgia. So there is something about like tapping into what makes you. Don't be afraid of the traits that set you apart from other people and make you an individual. And for some of you, you're not going to find this in the future, but you're going to find them in your past. Okay, so like what is it that sets you apart, and how can you really capitalize on that? Okay, so nostalgia. You also have creativity. Okay, so creativity here, don't be afraid to get very creative. Any sort of like thing that you want to do for fun, let your energy flow. Now, what is coming through here, Virgo, very interesting with nostalgia and creativity, is that some of you may not realize that in this reality, in this time-space reality, every change is a total change. And what you remember to be your past timeline, actually, there's like an infinite number of past timelines that change as you change in the present moment. So as you change in the present moment, you heal all of your ancestral trauma. You heal, your ancestors are loving you, but not even your ancestors, you. The version of you that you remember in college or high school or in your 20s or whenever, your childhood, do you realize that as you change in the present moment, that version of you actually changes? Now, what's also coming through is for those of you who have traumatic memories, you have some sort of very traumatic moment in your past, you're actually being called to go back into the past timeline and do like some sort of regression meditation. So one of the things that I've done that's healed me and that you're being called to do this week, Virgo, is look at something you don't want to look at, or look at a painful memory. And so I can have a memory of me, like, let's just say being a little bit like bullied in like middle school, all right? Like someone making a really nasty comment, I'll go into that meditation, visualize the person saying the nasty thing to me, and maybe I visualize my spirit guides kicking this guy in the nuts, and like he doesn't see it. It's like an invisible energy where he's just like, oh, and then everyone starts like laughing. And it's because when you may need to reframe a negative memory or change. As you change the past, you change the present, and also as you change in the present, you change the past. Time is a man-made thing to help us contemplate the vast infinity of eternity. It makes us feel more comfortable as humans to think of time. Time is an illusion. All you have is the present moment. So what you do in the present moment changes your past, but it also vice versa, all right? So don't be afraid to go back into your painful memories and toy with them, right? You also have mother, all right? So the frequency of mother. For those of you who have children, there may be something you need to do. There may be something, I'm getting someone is going through a difficult time around you. You may need to mother them, but you may need to also mother yourself. Also, like there's something about the spirit mother, nostalgia and creativity. When I do those memories and I change the past, which then completely changes my vibration in the present, and it changes, once again, when you change a past memory, it changes what you're a vibrational match to in the future. So like, let's say that you were an athlete. Let's say that you had the biggest game of your life back in high school and you blew it. You choked, you had a horrible experience with it. Go back and picture yourself the star of the game. Picture it going a completely different way and have fun with it. And like, there's almost something about mothering your nostalgia, but also, once again, nostalgia and creativity, going to your roots. What is it that sets you apart? As you look to build out your future in 2023, look for your roots. And if you can do that, you're actually going to be more defined by like your future self than your past self, but not first by changing the past. Does that make any sense? Okay. So we start this reading off with your opportunity, Virgo. Your opportunity is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a very intellectual energy, and it is in alignment with the Mercury energy of Virgo being one of the smartest signs in the whole zodiac. So there is something about using your mind, doing things with your mind. Also, the Queen of Swords, you may have to step in with your intelligence in some sort of way in your life and make a very firm decision, right? The Queen of Swords is not someone who's afraid to set boundaries and really just like, you can bypass a lot. I'm giving you permission, or the universe is giving you permission to bypass a lot with your mind. Make creative use of your mind. The mind can be likened to a garden. And this, you see this symbol? This is the seal of alchemy. The seal of alchemy is a symbol that the alchemists used to use to let everyone know that thought creates reality. Thought creates reality. And the alchemists used to be killed back in the day for revealing that thoughts create reality, because that's the biggest secret of the whole universe. Your mind is the most powerful thing. It doesn't matter what's going on in the external. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It's what are you doing with it right now? And people just simply don't take advantage of this, and it's because of the conditioning and all of it. So don't be afraid to like visualize what you want into the past, you name it. But you also have, Virgo, in your challenge, the High Priestess in your challenge. So there is some sort of mystery about your life that's going to be revealed to you this week is what I'm getting. Also, you're going to have to, there's something really traumatic that may happen to you this week that you don't see coming. And it may have to do with a toxic individual around you that hurts you, or it may have to do with some sort of painful experience that you're going to have this week is what I'm getting. And what I'm getting from this is don't be so quick to like give it a negative meaning. Like the bad things, all the bad things that happen to me, if you label it as bad, you'll get a corresponding result. Because what you put out, one of the laws of this universe is what you put out is what you get back. If something, like I'm just getting something weird happens this week or something negative, someone, like you're just not on the same page as someone, if you define it as positive, if you look for the silver lining in it this week, you can only get a positive result out of it, because what you put out is what you get back. If you define it as negative, you'll also experience it as negative. Now, and also your challenges, your intuition may be a little bit clouded because, I don't know, it's a very interesting frequency. In your overall general energy this week, you have the Ace of Swords, you have the Four of Wands, and you also have the Knight of Pentacles. There's something about a rite of passage that you're going through this week. The Four of Wands for some reason is coming through as like a rite of passage, some sort of like initiatory experience, like the universe is initiating you into the next level of your timeline is what I'm getting. And you can know this. It's like almost like something happens that you may not prefer. Something objectively is going to happen this week that you may think is like a step back, but oftentimes the biggest step backs are actually the greatest step forward, right? It's like a rubber band. If you pull a rubber band back into the darkness, to the degree that it goes back into the darkness, when you let go of it, that much further it will fly into the light. So there's something to do with that this week. You also have the Knight of Pentacles, so there is something about using, gearing up for the long haul here. Okay, so just be aware of that. We're going to have to clarify what it's about as we go through the reading. But it gets tricky. You're dealing with some sort of tricky situation. For a lot of you, this could actually have to do with a mother wound, something to do with your mother maybe influencing you. You may have an energetic tie to your mother or something. But in what you don't see coming, you have the Five of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords, and you also have the Devil here. So I actually see you like going back into your past and dealing with some sort of trauma and realizing how it's affecting you. Now, for others of you, it's going to be more so of like something happens. Someone does something, it just throws you off, some sort of toxicity that you're going to be transmuting this week. So we're going to have to clarify what that's about. But clearly, like the overall general energy is clarity, it's good. But in what you don't see coming, there is some sort of shakeup, okay? Now, when it comes to as well, your advice from Spirit here for this week, we're really going to have to make more sense of it as we go through. But your advice from Spirit is the Queen of Wands, the Six of Swords, and also the Five of Swords here as well. So there's something about like diving into your pain, moving into it. You see how the Six of Swords is like moving into the Five of Swords, and they almost have this like standoff here, Virgo. I'm getting the vision of like why I love buffalo. So if you see buffalo, when there's a storm coming, all the animals freak out. The buffalo is the only animal that when there's a storm coming, the buffalo runs into the storm. There's something about you using fire and passion and your own mind, once again, because you're very smart, understanding how things work from a higher level or just even a practical level of vibrational. There's something about you diving into your own storm. Like whatever it is that you're trying to run away from, whatever it is that you're trying to avoid, you're going to have to go into it here, Taurus. And a lot of you, this does have to do with having a conversation with someone around you who's close to you about some sort of incompatibility, about some sort of, and as well, what I'm actually getting from this is some of you here, there's something to do with like, if everyone was like you, what would the world look like? Just like try this thought experiment. If everyone in the world was like you, if everyone in your world, if everyone in the world had the same values, the same preferences as you, what would this world look like? There's something that if you admit to that, there's something about an incompatibility that you have with someone, and you almost like your intuition is maybe trying to tell you this. So I don't know, very interesting energy that you have here, Virgo, in this reading. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and clarify why the Queen of Swords is here as your opportunity for this week, Virgo. Why is the Queen of Swords your opportunity here? Let's go ahead and see. Okay, yeah, some of you are in some sort of interpersonal drama with someone. You're having an ego battle, I'm honestly getting. Or not even battle, but just confrontation or... Yeah, all right. So the Queen of Swords, first of all, is clarified by the King of Swords and also the Seven of Cups here. So in your opportunity... And you also have the World here, which is about an ending, and it's also about some sort of upgrade in your life here, Taurus. Virgo. So Virgo, with this energy, I do feel like there's some sort of emotional decision that you have to make about someone here. For some of you, this is simply about like understanding your own emotional wounding and doing those visualizations, going into the past, like Queen of Swords to the King of Swords, like standing up to someone, like fighting fire with fire. Once again, if you got bullied in the past, or like let's say someone was very rude to you, you're not realizing how that has infiltrated your vibration and then is setting up your timeline forward. It's like, once again, go into the timeline, the person who bullied you, imagine your spirit guide kicking them in the balls, them leaning over and being like, what the hell, like some sort of invisible energy kicking them, and then you basically upgrading your vibration as a result of that. That's just what I'm getting for some of you. Now, for others of you though, there is some sort of, once again, if you had admitted, what would the world look like if everyone had my preferences? There also is something about, like, I'm not going to lie, creative energy that is not on the same page with you and someone that you're very close to. For a lot of you, this is a lover. It could be a friend. I'm getting a lover if you're dating someone or you're close with someone, Virgo, this week. There's some sort of thing that you're realizing, like, oh, they view me as toxic, even though it's not actually toxic, is what I'm getting. Because Virgo is a very interesting energy. There may be a preference that you have. For some of you, this is actually going to be like what you need, like sexually from someone, that they're like, no, that's like bad. And you're like, well, I just like that. For others of you, it's going to be more practical, but there is something to do with that, right? So there's some sort of like mental battle or something that you're going through. Let's see why the Ace of Swords is here. Why is the Ace of Swords here in your overall general energy for this week, Virgo? All right, yeah, so you have some sort of like long-term vision or some sort of slow plan that's in the works, because the Ace of Swords is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is also already here in your overall general energy. The Ace of Swords is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and also the Seven of Wands here. Yeah, so a lot of you here are going to be moving towards some sort of long-term vision for your future. The Ten of Pentacles is, what is your legacy? What does your legacy want to look like? Once again, what would the world look like if everyone had the same preferences as you? Not that you need to enforce everyone to have these preferences, but it's just more of an honest assessment about who do you want to surround yourself with. Do you want to surround yourself by... There's something about you surrounding yourself with someone or some environment that they view you as weird or bad, even though it's not actually objectively true. It's just who you've chosen to hang around with or something. And so there is something then about putting up a boundary with the Seven of Wands and then moving and then choosing the long game, right? There is something, once again, Virgo, about this Six of Swords going into the Five of Swords in your advice, and you also have the Devil. There's something about like some sort of preference, something to do with your own past, your own creativity. What makes you unique as an individual? This can be passionate with your business. This can be someone maybe working a 9-to-5 job around you. Someone may be in corporate America and you want a side business and they view you as bad for that. Or this could be something to do with your own life force, creative, sexual energy that someone doesn't understand. Someone views you as weird or bad, and you're going to have the perspicuity and the awareness to say conflict delayed is conflict multiplied. There's something about you running into the storm. Now, you also have the High Priestess as your challenge, though. So there is something about like a mystery that's being revealed to you. I don't know. Let's clarify why that High Priestess is here. Why is the High Priestess here in your challenge, Virgo? Also, yeah. The High Priestess is clarified by the Six of Wands and also the Six of Cups. Once again, you had that frequency of nostalgia, creativity, and mother. Now you have the Six of Cups having to do with your roost. It is the card of nostalgia, and it's also the Six of Wands here, victory, and your challenge. So your challenge is to use some sort of spiritual energy to go into a painful memory and make yourself victorious in that energy. I'm telling you, this is what it is. Whatever your biggest struggle is in the past, sometimes there's a benefit to accepting the reality of that situation. For this week, though, Virgo, you're going to have to be a victor in your past, even if you were a loser. There's something about, and take it as an example to give you a mental framework of what I'm doing. Let's say that you were an athlete, the biggest game of your life, you choked, you didn't do well in it. Go back into the memory imagine yourself hitting the game-winning shot. And then watch how that, oh my God, okay. Then, okay, there's something about you going into the past, understanding what makes you unique, or even changing a memory of the past, that when you change a memory of the past, when you, or for others of you, when you accept what makes you unique, that then shifts your timeline in the present moment to where something then bad happens. It's not actually bad, that's actually for your highest good, but because you've been living in a traumatic energy, it's almost like this, Virgo. When I set the intention that I'm going to be a spiritual teacher, or when I set the intention that I'm going to be like I created some amazing future for myself by going into my past, understanding what makes me unique, or changing a memory, everything basically fell apart in my life. Because then when you shift your timeline, if you're with something that's not compatible to you, that has to fall apart. So there's something about, if you're being honest with yourself, what's going to really make me happy? No matter how weird it is, no matter what it is. If you then shift your energy and then all of a sudden things fall apart, it's actually happening for a good reason, Virgo. But you may just feel like your world is falling apart when you do that, or this may disturb a relationship, is what I'm getting, okay? Okay. And also, yeah, all right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and clarify why is the Six of Swords here, Virgo, for you in your advice from Spirit? Yeah, once again, you have the Three of Swords here, admitting some sort of incompatibility. If you are your unique self, or if you go back and you change a memory and then someone can't handle your new upgraded frequency, it's time for you to admit compatibility and move on. And play the long game. Once again, the Knight of Pentacles twice is gearing up, and the Ten of Pentacles is like gearing up for something that you're building towards, instead of hanging on to something that you know is not meant for you. And a lot of you, this is going to have to do with your work or an interpersonal relationship. But let's see, why is the Six of Swords here for Virgo and your advice? Yeah, you also have the Empress. This could have to do with your mother, by the way, because you have the Mother. I honestly think, yeah, there was a period where like my relationship with my mother was very rocky because of my career decision or because of my choice in life. She didn't understand it. So your mother could be the Emperor, or excuse me, the King of Wands, the Hierophant, and also the Ten of Wands here. Yeah, there's some sort of traditional commitment energy that you're meant to move away from. This is your future energy, Virgo. You have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. There's also a new relationship on the horizon for you, but it first has to do with you basically becoming the master of your own fate, the master of your own destiny. Those who do not direct themselves will be directed. Let me repeat that. Those who do not direct themselves will be directed, but it's like the moment that you start to direct yourself, things may start to go weird, but it's actually for your highest good, and you have to have the courage to face this demon. So with that being said, Virgo, I'm going to conclude this reading. I hope that this helped you. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next week.